I don't care if she insulted your manhood, if she told you that every lover she ever had was better than you. I don't care if she spits on you, slaps you, whatever it is. You're in an elevator.
The one that I hear a lot is that she was drunk.
So what?
As if that explains something. You know?
Do you know how many times in my life, over the course of my 30-some years, that I've dealt with drunk individuals? I've never had to assault any of them unconscious. I've never had to, especially the female ones, I've never even had to hit the guys. So I'm just saying, there's ways out of everything. You're in a friggin' elevator. It's going to take you 10 seconds. Did you guys notice from the time that he hit her how long it took the door to open? About 15 seconds. So you mean to tell me that big, strong running back Ray Rice couldn't have held off a sloppy, drunken 110-pound female for 15 seconds until he got off the elevator and said, hey, that crazy broad's trying to hit me. Somebody do something about it, because that's what I would have done, and I'm just thinking on my feet here. But I don't make millions of dollars and play professional football, but that's how I would have handled it.
Yeah, that's right. It's there is no excuse, and her role in the incident is
that's it. It was her fault.
The line that just keeps sticking with me. And
I'll tell you what.
If you know anything about domestic abuse or sexual, battery of that type, it's classic rationalization behavior on the part of the woman who's the victim to internalize the idea that she somehow deserved it or had it coming, which is just so absurd.
This is going to sound like I'm just making a joke
here. For the
here.
club, like you say, to rely on that to tweet out that as a defense of their player is beyond appalling to me. Anyway, I'm glad it has this happy ending.
Happy ending. I'll tell you, this is going to sound like I'm just making a quick, cheap joke here, but I'm only half making a quick, cheap joke here, and it is, I really, truly hope that this diversion program has gotten Ray Rice some counseling, because I'm willing to bet that he's quite angry at this point in the afternoon today. I'm pretty sure he's not in the best mood, so hopefully he's got some anger management things going. He's got somebody that he can call and work with his issues here, because I'm guessing Ray Rice isn't having the best day today. But you know what? Janae didn't have the best day a couple of months ago either, so what goes around. Fans for jumping in the middle like that, but that literally hit as we were going, and I wanted to get that out there right away, because there's nothing like talking about 35-minute-old news. So now that we've got that out of there, Indians, by the way, it's gone from bad to worse as we've been talking. So perhaps that distraction came at a good time, because the Indians have definitely gone from bad to worse here. It's now 6-0. Salazar ran out of the game a 6 spot, put on the board in the 5th inning by the Angels, and that's going to do it for Danny Salazar. Final record for him, coming off of such a great performance last time. He goes 4 2/3 here today. 6 runs on 8 hits. All 6 runs are earned. He strikes out 4, 2 walks. He gives up 2 home runs. As let's see, we've got Calhoun homered, a 2-run homer, and then Freeze with a 3-run homer scored Pujols and Kendrick, and that blew it open. We're now 6-0 here, still in the 5th inning for the Indians. So, like you said, you reach a hot team. The Angels, we talk about the Indians needing to get to 88, 89 wins to get to the playoffs here. The Angels are at 87 wins and counting, so they're red hot, one of the best teams in baseball, 87-55, and they're looking to take that trip that they didn't necessarily want to take back to Cleveland here and get it over with as quick as possible. Right now, Indians with only 2 hits to their credit in today's game.
Yeah, and you're not going to come back from 6-zip against Weaver, but so you chalk this one up and get back after it tomorrow. But stranger things have happened, but hard to project a good outcome at 6-0. Yeah, the Angels are as hot as anybody. Have a chance to get to 100 wins. Might even look like a likelihood at this point to get to 100 wins.
You gotta think
so.
I
don't think after the disaster that they had last season, anybody would have predicted that, even with all the talent and all the payroll over there.
No, for sure, but I agree. They're definitely on pace for that. Dan, we're always all over the place when you're with us. Today, even more than usual with everything going on. Let's circle back around to the final stop of the sports weekend here. Indians with the sweep of the Sox, and you went down there 107,000 deep for what happened Saturday night. And then let's talk about yesterday. The Browns and the Steelers, and, man, you talk about, as we mentioned earlier, the tale of 2 games. But, I mean, I mean, you're like me. You and I are kind of kin on a lot of the way we feel about certain things. I mean, you had to be right there with all of us at halftime. You're going, okay, look, I knew this season wasn't going to be great, but man, I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Yeah, and the term that came to mind, and I'm pretty sure I even tweeted it out at the time, was clown show. I mean, the terrible tackling, the Le'Veon Bell run just kind of put the exclamation point on it in that second quarter when they just couldn't get out of their own way. And it has always amazed me how Roethlisberger survives pass rush situations that look like he's a certain dead duck, and he somehow gets out of them. Kirksey one time whiffed on him, and we had, Kruger whiffing on him, and, guys that were just looking ready to sandwich him, and he somehow survives it. I still don't know how he does it. It's, you just have to tip your hat to the guy, much as you hate to do that. As far as his ability to, be tough in the pocket and evade pass rush and keep from getting sacked. But he was up to his old tricks that entire first half, doing more of that and made those throws on the run worse. I really, and I don't know about you, but I seriously considered, it was a beautiful day. I had family in town. My son and my grandchildren are around, and we had some people over and cooking out, and all this stuff was going on. I really was tempted at halftime to just say, screw this game. It's a nice day. Let me go do something, anything, besides put myself through this after last night in Columbus and everything else. So,
yeah.
But, the Browns fan in me wouldn't let me do that, and I sat back down for the second half kickoff, and obviously was well entertained the rest of the way. But you can look at it, a couple different ways, Jerry, and I'm sure you were the same way. When you come back and score 24 unanswered, you pretty much have to win the football game because it would be so Browns-like to lose it, and then the way that they ended up losing it was just a gut shot. You have the ball on your own 45-yard line with 4 minutes to go. You've been running the ball well. You can't get a first down. You go 3 and out trying to throw the ball 3 times. And then even again, late in the game, under 2 minutes, you've got another shot deep in your own territory, and all you really need to do is get a first down to get to overtime. And you can't manage that. You're taking negative yardage plays a couple different times in that last series, and folding, the way that we see it in our nightmares. And sure enough, it came about that way. But you can't help but come away from it, like you said earlier. And I listened to your chat with John McMullen today. I always like listening to John and you talk. You've got to feel good about the second half adjustments. It's the opposite from what we've seen from the Browns, who are known to start fast and fold. To see that kind of a comeback and see that kind of guts, and call it character, whatever you want. As much as anything, it was good to see that we do, in fact, have an offense that's capable of, queuing up yardage and scoring touchdowns instead of field goals. Hoyer showed me something. The whole team showed me something that second half. And, yeah, they lost the game. We've seen plenty of that. That's nothing new. What is new is that fight and that ability to come back strong and to, score 27 points on the road against a decent defense. All those things are things that we haven't seen enough of over the last 15 years. And so I do come away from it encouraged.
Dan, from your lips to God's ears, as you say the words making a comeback, on the other field in downtown Cleveland, the Indians may be doing just that. Lonnie Chisenhall gets a hold of one, gets a home run here. Just like that, the Indians have cut into this lead here. It is now 6-2. The Indians trail the Angels. Lonnie Chisenhall with the home run in the bottom of the 5th, so they answer the 6th spot by the Angels and put at least 2 here thus far on the board in their half of the inning. Don't count my team of destiny out just yet.
Never say die. That's great to hear. I'm not where I can watch the game right now, but that's good to hear. And we've got a lot of baseball yet to be played, so who knows? I'm not going to say die.
There you go. Because literally, you just got done saying, well, with Weaver, you're not going to go ahead and come back from this one. So let's go ahead and just look forward. But hey, so far so good. Let's see what happens. Chisenhall 2-run home run. Kipnis scores on it 6-2. Jan Gomes at the plate here as the Indians look to bring themselves back from that 6-run hole they put themselves in the bottom of the 5th. Now back to the Indians, as Dan Wismar and I were talking about, and I agree with a lot of what you just said. And we really, John and I hit on a lot of the X's and O's and stuff earlier on, but I disagree. I see Vashon in the chat room. I don't care. I think that I disagree that you can say, because there's some people that say that, and Vashon's one of them here, saying that the only reason the Browns came back is because Pittsburgh quit trying. Pittsburgh took their foot off the gas. I'm like, okay, maybe you could claim the first touchdown. Maybe you could even claim the first 10 points. But no team takes their foot off the gas for the entire second half and just says, we'll just hang out here and we're still going to win the game. So I think that's discrediting the Browns for what they did in the second half of that game. And remember, at the end of the day, they lost. I'm not sitting here taking any moral victories. You heard me say I thought my favorite thing about the post game yesterday was Mike Pettin not even taking the bait. He said, I don't want to hear about that, man. It's win or lose. It's pass or fail, and we failed. I'm not taking any moral victories out of this thing. I don't care how we played in the second half, because he could have been. How many times has Judd, has Shermer, have these guys said, well, there was some good things. There was some good things the Browns did. I got to go check the tape on the bad things, but I happen to know all the good things off the top of my head. It's only the bad things that I got to go check the tape about, but he didn't need to check tape.
We all got tired of hearing Butch Davis talk about making strides. Well, we made some strides.
Right, no.
You're right. It was good. It was good to hear Pettin take the no moral victories in the NFL, pass fail league, we failed kind of a thing. I mean, that's an attitude we haven't always had from head coaches here.
What do you think about him? Game 1, Mike Pettin. Obviously, you have to take the whole game into account. The way they started that thing, the way they adjusted as much as it was at halftime, and the way they finished it. Where are you at week 1 with a rookie head coach and his first opportunity to run a team during a game?
Well, just like it's what we said, we're seeing the flip side of what we've seen so often, and that was fast start, fold at the end. Now, yeah, you could say this team folded at the end by just allowing the Steelers to hit a couple big completions in the last 30 seconds of the game to get set up for a field goal. But we saw 24 unanswered points. We saw the team getting after Roethlisberger in the second half and sacking him multiple times and getting some pass rush on him. I just think that defensively, this is a team that's going to keep them in some games. Yeah, they gave up 30 points, but I'm still convinced that this is going to be a defense that's a better than average NFL defense before it's all said and done. So yeah, just the fact that they came out with some fight, and even though Pettin refused to take the credit for that, said that it was players and team leaders, Dansby, Hayden, whomever, Boyer, speaking up at halftime. That comes from the coach. I mean, that attitude, is fostered by the coaching staff, and so I guess from that standpoint, I've got to say, yeah, it's an improvement. It's a positive. He had a minute till the end, and that's a rough place to play, and it's a loss, but and like I said, I'm still encouraged by it. Am I a homer? Yeah, damn right, I'm a homer. But that's you've got to be encouraged by what you saw in the second half.
And you know what? I agree with you. I'm fighting a losing battle here against certain people. You can't change people's opinion. If they want to believe that the Browns stink and then that it was all Pittsburgh letting them back in it in the second half, that's great. I disagree with that. I think I'll give you that at first. Of course you come out in the second half and you're coasting a bit, but you don't stay there. Anyways, you can think what you want. The game really showed me a lot of what I thought. The Browns aren't as bad as people thought they were, and they're not as good as the high end of the people thought they were going to be either. But it's not gloom and doom as far as the offense goes. And I'll tell you, the running game opened up a bit with the two youngsters going at it. T. West, one of the things I meant, or excuse me, Ben Tate, before West came in, one of the things I mentioned was his injury history coming in. And the thing that I like about him is he's known for playing hurt. The things that I don't like is that he's hurt all the time, even if he plays through it and plays hurt, as